He got problems, she got problems, only I got 411 problems. Hey, hi, what's up, y'all? It's time for another story time, and welcome to She's Missing. This is not a true crime situation. It's not. It started off almost that way, but it's not. Okay, so this is my last week in high school, and we are practicing graduation. This is literally, was it 2 days before? Yeah. Yes. So this was Wednesday. Yes. So the week of graduation, of course, we're not doing a bunch of nothing. So I think it was like that Monday we did like the senior talent show, and then I think like Tuesday was something, I don't know, and then that Wednesday is when we started like rehearsal, which was, I think, was crazy to me because I think we picked out our graduation song, our class song that Wednesday. Like we end up voting on it. we end up voting we end up voting on it, and that's when that's when the music teacher found out I can sing, and he was so upset. He was very upset. He was very upset because I sung at graduation, and a lot of people really didn't know I could sing. Like I really don't sing often, but this is when like literally I let it be known that, girl, I can carry a note. Like my class picked this song, and I was like, and they was like, well, who gonna sing this part? And I'm like, why would y'all pick a song that y'all don't even know who gonna sing whatever? And I was like, I'll do it. And I was like, for real? And I was like, yeah, no, seriously. I was like, I'm not gonna be here. I'm not gonna be here anymore. And I remember like the music teacher being upset because of course like he was over the band. He was over the band, and he was like, what was it? It wasn't chorus. It was chorus. He was over the band and chorus. Music teacher. And he was he was upset because a teacher came over to me and said, ooh, I almost called his name because I remember his name. She said, oh, he's very upset. You got away. You got away. You were a hidden gem. She said, none of us knew you could sing like that. And I was like, I know. Which they didn't. Like I sung and it carried. I didn't have a microphone. Because they was like, you want the microphone like to go up? And I was like, no. Anyway, so this was like Wednesday. We had already picked. So this is like Thursday. This is Thursday. So Wednesday we had picked the song, and it's like we got to learn the song, and then that's when the principal came, and he was like, that's when he was giving like all these rules. He was giving all these rules, which is now, it's like almost in every high school graduation I see now, or even college. It's like, can you hold your applause? And it's like, that is the dumbest stuff to me. That is dumb is to me, because you don't know what people went through to graduate high school. You don't know what people went through to graduate college. How can you tell these people not to celebrate the person that's walking across the stage? And I get where it's like, well, some people don't have people here, so there's no applause. That's just not my problem. Not a problem. Like, what? What? So the principal was giving us rules, basically telling us like, you're gonna have to tell your parents to hold their applause. No antics, no nothing. Like, this is going to be a very classy graduation. And we looking at him like, and I'm definitely looking at you crazy, because it's like, you don't know what I had to go through to get to this, to get to the end. What? So we all looking at each other and talking in code, like with our eyes like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. And that's not gonna happen. But we're gonna go home and tell our parents what you said, but I can guarantee that's not gonna happen. Anyway, so we're getting ready to practice, right? So and Nia is like, Where's Wildin' Out? Because at this point in time, the little crew was me, Nia, and Wildin' Out. Me and Paisley wasn't talking at this time. I think she was trying to rekindle when we was doing senior pictures, but I wasn't hearing that. Once you like, you know, a Capricorn, once you do something to a Capricorn, when a Capricorn is done, they're done. Now, sometimes there's times when it's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna give it another chance, and I'm gonna try to flow with it. But when we're done, baby, a Capricorn can love you hard. When I say hard, go hard for you to no end, sacrifice. But when we cut you off, baby, like you never existed. It never happened. It never happened. It never happened. Anyway. So yeah, so it was, Nia is like, where's Wildin' Out? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. Because Wildin' Out and Nia graduated with honors, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe just Nia. I think Wildin' Out graduated with honors. I think she did. I know Nia was our salutatorian. But I think Wildin' Out graduated with honors. I think she did. Unsure. But anyway, maybe she didn't. But they was looking for her anyway. So she was like, where is she? Because at this point in time, like, you couldn't, they had came up with these rules where you couldn't miss graduation. Like, you couldn't miss the practice. You couldn't miss certain things. You couldn't be absent, or they weren't going to let you walk. Like, they was just throwing out rules. And it's like, this don't even make sense. Like, this is supposed to be like our last week. We're not supposed to be worried about none of this BS. We're not even supposed to be stressed out. We just want to walk across this stage, be celebrated, because we completed these 4 years. Yes, there's 12, but high school is 4 years. 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. We completed these 4 years, honey. We ready to go. We're checking out. We just want to be smooth, clean, calm, comfortable, cheering, having a good time, partying, let's go, right? And they was just passing out all these rules. Oh, you can't be late. Oh, you can't, if you don't show up to class, you can't walk. Oh, what was the other thing? It seemed like it was something else, because it seemed like we was just being barraged with rules that wasn't barraged with in the beginning of the year, and then even our other years in school. It's like, oh, and of course you had to pay your dues. Like, everything had to, like, your balances had to be zero. So if you owed like library fees, or if you haven't paid your dues completely, like, that had to be zero. Like, you couldn't walk, like, they was coming up with any and everything to, like, stop you from walking across the stage. It was crazy. That didn't mostly have nothing to do with your grades, or if you didn't pass the graduation test. That was a must. But the graduation test was way before then. We were in our last week, so I don't know what was the big, I don't know. I don't understand what was the big issue with constantly coming up with rules or whatever. But anyway, so Neil was like, where she at? Because once they notice, like, it's gonna be an issue, because if you absent or if you late, they don't want you to walk. So I was like, I don't know. And at this point in time, she had started talking back to California. And I was like, girl, and she was going to California by herself. Because I was like, girl, after this story time, it was like, no, baby, no. After, what did I call him? Aggressive? I think I called him aggressive. After the experience of aggressive, it was like, no. Baby, I know I be doing some grown stuff, but I don't want to be this grown. I don't want to be this grown. Take me out the group chat. I don't want to do it. So she was going by herself. And then I think at this point in time, like, her and her dad had fell out, like, major. And so she was mostly at her stepmom's house. So, and her stepmom would let her do whatever. It was like, girl, as long as you're going to school or whatever. But that was one thing about Wildin' Out as well. Her biggest thing was she wanted to make her grandparents proud. And so she had her stuff in order. Like, she was extremely smart. Her grades was top tier. And she had her plans of after graduation, she was going into the military. So she knew what she wanted to do. So it wasn't like she didn't deserve to have a good time. But it was also, we was wanting her to like chill out. But it was hard to tell her to chill out because you had been sheltered most of the time. Because most of the time you were raised by your grandparents, and your grandparents was really strict. And then when she went to your dad wanted you to be a babysitter and parent instead of allowing you to experience certain things. And so it was like, it was a constant clash. But yeah, so anyway, Nia, and of course now, like, the teachers are starting to notice. They're like, where's Wildin' Out? Because they would come in and take attendance. After you leave homeroom, we would have to report to the gym so we could practice graduation, like walking in, walking across the stage, like lining up, walking up to go get our diplomas. So like, they was making sure like all of that was in order because we're doing a classy graduation. So the teachers are starting to notice. So of course, everybody knows me, Wildin' Out, and Nia hang together. So they're coming to me now and they're saying, where's Wildin' Out? And I was like, I don't know. And so they was like, oh, okay. And I was like, she probably like overslept. She probably overslept. This just reminded me of another story time. Oh my God. She probably overslept. And so I was like, yeah, I was like, she probably overslept. Because at this point in time, like, we don't have cell phones. We have pagers. And so it's like, I can't just page her because I'm not by your phone. So it's like, she probably just overslept. Like, just, just give her a little minute. She probably just overslept because I was like, she works. And so they was like, yeah, okay. Because it's Thursday. So it's like, yeah, just give her a little minute. Like, don't take her out of the lineup. And so, like, me and Nia are constantly, like, looking. Because it's like, girl, get here. Because they're constantly asking, like, where is she? And so they was like, well, can you go call? Like, can you go call home? Because we're not getting a response. And I was like, okay. So I go to the office. So when I go to the office, and I was like, what am I gonna call it? Teacher told me to come in here to call and find out if Wildin' Out was okay because, she's missing for graduation practice. And so the administrator was kind of giving me a hard time, but then the teacher showed up. She was like, no, I sent her in here to find out what's going on because we want to make sure that the student is okay. And so the administrator was like, oh, okay. Some administrators. Anyway, so she gives me the phone, and so I'm calling Wildin' Out's stepmom's house. So calling. And so her she's not really her aunt, but it's her stepmom's sister. And she answered the phone, and so she was like, hello. And I was like, I'm so sorry, because you could tell like she was asleep. And at this point in time, she was still pregnant, if I'm not mistaken. And I was like, I'm so sorry for waking you up. And I was like, but the school is worried, wanted to know where Wildin' Out is. Is Wildin' Out there? And so she was like, oh, I don't know. Hold on, let me see. So she got up, like, to go look. Because at this point in time, like, she didn't have a room. So she was sleeping on the sofa. So it was like, let me go see, like, if she's, out in the living room. So she went out in the living room, and she said, no, she's not there. And I was like, okay. And so, like, I can hear her stepmom in the back saying, is that Angel? And so she was like, who is this? Because, like I said, like... the sister she was asleep. So when she answered the phone, I was like, yeah, this is Angel. So she was like, oh, hey, girl. And I was like, hey. And so she was like, yeah, hold on. So she gave the phone to Wildin' Out's stepmom. So stepmom was like, are you at the school? And I was like, yeah. And so she was like, Wildin' Out with you? And I was like, no. I was like, I'm calling to see if she's there. And I said, because we can't be late and we can't miss practice or they won't let you walk. And so she was like, oh. And I was like, is everything okay? Like, is she okay? She was like, yeah. Yeah, she was like, she should be on her way. She should be on her way up there. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, okay, I'm gonna let them know. I was like, how do you know, like, can you tell me like how long to give them? Like, I was like tell them like 20 minutes. She said, no, say 30. And I was like, 30. And I was like, okay. So I was like, I was like, you want me to say she overslept or something? And she was like, yeah, say that. And I was like, oh, okay. And say, tell them like she work at night. I said that already. She said, girl, you a good friend. I told y'all, like, certain things essaying has taught me, and being quick with it. Yeah. Anyway, so I was like, yeah. So she was like, okay, yeah. And I was like, okay, I'll tell them that. I'll just reiterate what I had already said. So anyway, so I went back to the teacher and I was like, yeah, she overslept. She got off work late, so she overslept, but she on her way. Her stepmom said she'll be here in like 30 minutes. And so they was like, oh, okay, so yeah, we'll give her a pass. So she finally shows up, and she has this attitude. And so the teachers are trying to talk to her about, at this point in time, like, you're about to go out into the real world. You can't be oversleeping. That's not showing responsibility. Like, the same stuff that y'all get, we actually got it worse, to be totally honest. Like, y'all tune us out with your earbuds and your headphones. We ain't had it. Like, we had to hear it. And there would be no questions of what's going on, or it would just be straight lecture. So they were lecturing her. So she was like, I don't want to hear this right now. Like, I don't want to hear it right now. Because, again, you don't know what people go through at home. Like, stuff can look real cool, calm and collective on the outside, and people could be going through pure D hell in their household. You have no idea. What's going on in their house. Nobody had no clue I was being essayed in my house. Nobody had a clue. People are just finding out. People are just finding out now. And then a lot of people still don't even want me to talk about it. It's like, oh, let it go. No. I'm going to say something. I'm going to fuck you and your mama to tell me to let it go. Because it didn't happen to you. It's easier for you. Or because he was nice to you. Kiss it. Anyway. So, yeah. So, it was like, she was giving him like this attitude, like, just leave me alone, which is not like her at all. Why not was very, very energetic, springy, spunky, full of energy, full of life. Like, so when she was like that, you knew something was wrong. And so people were looking at me because the teacher got upset because you felt like she was being disrespectful. But it's like, lady, like, I just told you, like, I got off work. And so I was like, chill out. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, like, I walked up to her and I was like, give me a minute. And so I was like, just chill out. Like, we just need to make it through practice. Just chill out. And so she just, and I was like, just be quiet. And so once I said that, like, tears are rolling down her face. And I was like, girl, come on. So we go to the bathroom. And I was like, you don't have to tell me now what's going on. And I was like, I just need you to get your cry out. So we hug, like, I'm hugging her. And we're hugging in the bathroom. She gets her cry out. I help her clean her face. And we go back and we practice. Right? So once we finish practice or whatever, because at this point in time, we getting out of school at 12 noon. So we get out at 12 noon. So she was like, you got to work today? And I was like, nah. And so she was like, well, follow me to my stepmom's house so I can tell you what's going on. And I was like, she was like, but I really don't want to go there. She was like, let's just go to the parking lot of the store, the grocery store. And we'll just talk there. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So we go to the we go to the parking lot because I just thought about something. Like, before we left, when I came back in the gym, and I have classmates who constantly reiterate this one. Like, one of my classmates was passing out baby pictures, and I was like, who ugly baby is this? Like, oh my God, they constantly still say that. Yeah, she was passing out her baby pictures, And when somebody is passing out a baby picture, like, is it quiet? The whole class was quiet. When I walked in the gym, it was like a library. And everybody was staring at these pictures of this baby. And they was quiet. They were quiet. Like, you could hear a pin drop in the gym. And so, like, I picked up, but I was like, who ugly baby is this? Nobody is saying nothing. And then everybody bust out laughing. So, literally, I said what people were thinking. And so, I still read to this day, be like, let me tell you. And I'll be like, oh my God. Okay, yeah, I said it. I just said what everybody was thinking. The little girl, I mean, she's not a little girl. She's a young lady. She's not ugly now. Everybody don't have a cute baby. She grew into her features. Anyway, everybody don't have a cute baby. I just said what they was thinking. Anyway, so we go after graduation practice, like we go to the parking lot. So when we get to the parking lot, I was like, girl, what's going on? Where you was at? So she was like, so I went to California and I spent the night with California. And so I just looked at her and she was like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it right now, Angel. I don't want to hear it. And I was like, I'm just listening. Because I already told you, girl, I'm not going with you no more. I'm not going there anymore. I'm not. You will never, ever find me there. Like, what? I had made my body. Aggressive was enough for me. Aggressive was enough for me. Even with homeboy coming back, I did not go back. No. So she was like, I'm coming. I spent the night with California, so I'm coming back. And on my way coming back, like, they used to do a lot of roadblocks. Especially around the around like holidays, and then they would do like spontaneous ones where they felt like people who didn't have like their license or their insurance will drive the back roads. And then a lot of us speed on the back roads too. Excuse me. A lot of us speed on the back roads. So it was like a lot of, like, they did like a spontaneous roadblock. So she was like, she went through the roadblock. Like, she was like, girl, so she pulled up in the roadblock. She gave them her license and registration. And when she gave them her license and registration, the police came back to her car and was like, ma'am, I need you to step out the car. We'd have to take you into custody. There's a warrant out for your arrest. And so I'm sitting there going, girl, what? She was like, right. And so she was like, I'm scared. I'm freaking out. I'm crying. And I'm going, no, are you serious, sir? Like, are you serious? He was like, ma'am. And so she was like, at first, like, I'm fighting. Like, no, you're not about to put me in handcuffs. Because she was like, Angel, I know I haven't done anything. And so he was like, ma'am, like, another officer who she had known, because it was it our people? No, it wasn't our people. It was another county, but close to our county. So, like, one of the officers knew, like, one of our officers. So they kind of like knew her face, so to speak. And so he was like, no, calm down. He was like, listen, we got to take you into custody. Put on the handcuffs. Like, don't fight. Just put on the handcuffs until we figure out, like, what's going on. So they put her in handcuffs, put her in the back seat, take her to the police station. This is all like early morning. Like, she's on her way to school. She had spent the night with California. She left early to go on her way to school. There's a roadblock. You get stopped in the roadblock. You get arrested in the roadblock. So they get to the police station to find out what's going on. So, like, of course, you sit there for a little while. They take forever and a year to process certain stuff. Well, luckily for her, like, she had got detained early morning. So, like, the lady was there. So they go there, and so they was like, I don't want to say exactly what it is, because how can I say it? It was a situation where she had to be detained, right? And there was a warrant out for her arrest. So come to find out, the situation that was going on and why she was being arrested was because her mama was doing some shit. But it was her name on it. And so that's why it was a warrant out, because her mama was doing some stuff, but it fell back on her because her name was on the stuff, right? And so she had figured that out. And so she was like, she was crying because they was telling her what she had to pay in order to get out. And so she was like, that's all the money that I have saved up. Mind you, like, you're in high school, so you're working part-time. You're not really working full-time. So, like, the little bit of money you do get, like, y'all don't realize, like, saving up $100, $200, $300 was extra harder for us to save up back then, because we made less money an hour. So it was harder for us to save up money back then. So she was like, this is all the money that I had saved up. And that was the situation. Like, to the only way you could get out is because you had to pay that off. Like, it was like, you can't go nowhere until you paid it off, because the people were upset, basically. And so she was like, that's all the money I have saved up. And so she was like, and I got to get out of here because I got to go graduate. And of course, because your name is on it, they treating you like BS. Like, they have no idea you didn't do this. Your mama did, right? So it was like, dang. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang. So anyway, so once she said that, like, my mouth hit the floor. And I was like, because her mom, like, they were trying to, like, build, you know, like, because she really wanted to be around her mom. So they was trying to, like, rebuild. They was trying to do stuff. So it was like, girl, you just, you know, like, you just broke her trust again. Like, it was like, I'm trying to rebuild, and here you go breaking my trust again. So, yeah. So that's why she couldn't show up on time. But it got situated. They figured it all out. Her mama cool. And she still ended up graduating. So graduation, when we are like, when the ceremony is starting, and our undergraduates go first, right? So it's quiet. It's quiet in there. We ticked off. We done told our parents, like, we can't say nothing. We can't clap. We can't do nothing. And so, like, of course, like, everybody saying the same thing. Like, hey, our parents was mad. Like, when we saying that, like, Friday morning when we came, because, you know, we were told earlier in the week that we couldn't, like, they can't clap, they can't do nothing. So of course our parents is mad, because it's like, how you gonna tell me I can't clap for my kid? Which is crazy, right? So yeah, so it was like, parents are mad, but it was quiet in there. So when the undergraduate started, one of Steven, did I give my name in there? I don't know. Steven had walked first. Like, Steven graduated with honors. So Steven walked across first, and his dad stood up and said, that's my son, y'all. Y'all better clap. And the whole gym went crazy. So after the whole gym went crazy, of course, we went into our plan, because we all had our own situations of what we was doing. Because I was in sports, so I read when it was time when they called my name, the undergraduates stood up like they did, like we used to do in the basketball, because, like, I used to play basketball, so, and I was a starter, so how we used to line up, like, we used to slap each other hand or whatever. So the undergrad stood up, and I slapped their hand like I was, you know, running through the last time. Dang, I wonder if my sister still got, oh, well. Anyway, yeah, so I got my diploma, and so, like, it was literally like it was pure joy, laughter, clapping. It was absolutely beautiful. And the very next and the next day, well, the next time the paper came out, the principal apologized and said how disappointed he was in our class. And then after that, like, the classes after us had to have tickets. I think it was just I think the next two classes had to have tickets, and they was just disappointed or something like that. But now you can just walk in there. But before then, like, they was disappointed. And the class behind us had to have tickets for their graduation. Yeah. But anyway, that is the story time of She Was Missing. I told y'all, we've been through some stuff. I just thought about another story time. I don't think I'm gonna tell that one though. Whew. I love you the most because you're definitely the dopest in real life, and I'll see you in the next one.